Another question, there are people saying they won't allow proceedings. Are we going to see? I wish to state that in a parliament all over the world is a house of representatives, is a house guided by the rules of procedure, and the rules of procedure are adopted by that particular parliament through the representatives of the people. And I wish to advise, humbly and politely, anybody planning to play outside the rules, to play within the rules that was debated, adopted, and approved by this parliament to guide our proceedings. As we speak, we know that the coffee bill is now at committee stage. So we shall now be proceeding clause by clause. So he who comes to equity, the principle is clear, must come with clean hands. And he who seeks equity must also do equity. That is the basic principle of equity. Let's play within the rules of procedure of Parliament. We adopted, we debated, we approved. That is what the side of NRM is committing to for now, that we shall play within the rules of procedure of Parliament. That is our side.
Uganda caucus are threatening Parliament that proceedings won't take place. For us as members of the NRM, we are quite ready to take them on, because we are also not going to sit back and look at members of the opposition undermining the Speaker and the government aside. So we are also ready. We shall undress them before they even come up with the idea of theirs. So I want to advise them, or I want to send a warning to them, that they should not think that they are more than some of us. So we are ready to undress them as they come with the idea of not allowing proceedings to proceed. We shall also deal with them before they can attempt with that procedure of theirs. Thank you. And also a question about some members of NRM who are behind the curtains and they're afraid of coming out. I call upon them to wake up from their slumber, because we agreed in State House when we had our caucus there by the chairman of the ruling party, the national chairman, and we all agreed, we had one voice. So by hiding, by keeping away from this debate, it's not going to help them. So they should wake up from their slumber and come and stand to defend the position of the national resistance movement in Parliament. Thank you.
Uganda caucus. I think it's very important to note that the Parliament of Uganda is a parliament of everybody. It's a parliament for the entire country. We don't operate business in Parliament as a Choli caucus or Ankole caucus. It is a parliament that looks at issues across. So when we start bringing sentiments that drums sound something to do with tribal sentiments of narrowing the scope of issues which are being discussed that has got impact in the entire country, then that's where we go wrong. I also want people to, especially as politicians, to begin looking at a broader way of politics. It's not about waking up and you say, I've not been doing maybe anything in my constituency, then political time is drawing closer. Let me go and misinform people and be shouting, jumping, and be seen to be caring because we are discussing coffee rationalization. If you have not been doing anything for your constituency, even if you shout at the top of your voice, coffee this, coffee that, or Uganda this, it will not work. You have to stand as a leader for what will save the country. All these issues we are putting in place cutting costs. I thought, even if you have a different political opinion, we would agree on this. Because we are all looking at a better Uganda for everybody. And we are looking at saving costs. So for me, if whoever raises something to do with a caucus of a certain team discussing, then you are losing out the point. We are going to discuss these issues, and we, as a country, legislators who have been mandated, where we feel is the right decision for the country, we shall carry forward. And for us who support the issue of rationalization, there is no amount of intimidation that is going to divert. We are going to look at issues of numbers in the House. And when the majority votes and says yes, we are going to pass it. Even if you run out and blackmail government, it's not going to work. We must do the right thing, and I think it is important as legislators, for the first time, to come out clear and say, okay, we agree on government on this because we are cutting costs, and this money can be taken into doing other things. We need more money on education, health, and other things. It's something very simple. It's about an address changing. It's not about closing the whole issue of coffee. Can you imagine there are leaders who go out there and misinform people when they know the right information? Why don't you speak the truth?
Ndugu is asking me deep in my heart. My heart, just like the book of Jeremiah, is at peace. That what we are doing is the right thing. Just like those who were in positions we are holding today did in 1991 when they transitioned Coffee Marketing Board to UCDA. What we are doing today is to say, UCDA, your father is inviting you back into the house. Please come back. Come back. No, but you're a child. You say a child doesn't want. You're a child. Under the law, you're supposed to come back. Because you are a creature of your parents. This child did not create himself. This child was created by this same government. In 1991, it was still NRM government under President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni that created or established UCDA by the then parliament. It is now the same government, it is now the same father saying, you child, return to your father's house. And the Bible says, in my father's house, there are many rooms. There is a room that will be created under the Ministry of Agriculture to accommodate the functions currently exercised by UCDA and all those scientists to continue doing the same scientific work that they are doing currently. How do you know? That same ED may be the head of department. That will be established. Those same scientists will be the scientists under that department. I am really happy that you have agreed with me that it is more of fears of the unknown, because change is coming. And change normally, my brother, even for your own media house to withdraw you from parliament, you will attempt to resist. But why? Where do you want to deploy me? Where do you want to deploy me? No, I'm a political reporter. And no, you want to take me. Now, if rationalization now faces you in your own media houses to say, no, we are going to make changes. Obua, you have been reporting for TVX at Parliament. We now want to withdraw you to be a sports reporter because you love sports so much. But no, I'm a political reporter. I need to remain at Parliament. I only watch games and sports because I love it for leisure. That is exactly what we are experiencing. That is exactly what we are experiencing. That change will always be resisted. But the NRM under President Museveni means well. There is no Ugandan who has promoted coffee more than President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. There is no Ugandan. Because from 1995, he is on record, countrywide tour, promoting coffee, 1 acre, what, 1 acre, the 4 acre model, and the 7 enterprises. And when he talks about the 7 enterprises, number 1 is coffee. Now, for one to allege, for one to impute, for one to submit that all this should be credited to UCDA, I wish to religiously disagree with you and state that you are not on point. At all, you are not. You are not on point. I don't want to use any other words that are used by lawyers in court because I want to maintain the national character of this engagement. What is the take of government on the cry, that is according to the one who posed the question, on the bill or bills? I wish to state that the position of the national resistance movement, both agreed in cabinet and in the NRM parliamentary caucus, up to this point as I speak, still stands to support the presentation and passing into law all rationalization bills providing for a 3-year transitional period for UCDA and NITA-U. That is the position up to the time I speak to you. On question number 2, I also wish to respond that the NRM Parliamentary Caucus exhaustively discussed rationalization of government agencies in 4 meetings. Out of 4, 3 were substantive meetings of the caucus, and 1 was a mini meeting where 3 committees of parliament were invited, and we had engagement in all these meetings with the President of the Republic of Uganda and the National Chairman of NRM, and for all intent and purposes, Ugandans are equally aware that on the issue of coffee, the number 1 promoter of coffee is His Excellency the President General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who started or launched a country-wide tour in the year 1995 to officially popularize the growing of coffee not only in one region, but in all the 4 regions of Uganda: North, East, Central, and West. So coffee is a strategic cash crop grown in all parts of Uganda. I am equally a coffee farmer. I have 4 acres of coffee, and my question has always been in this debate: if government proceeds to rationalize UCDA by mainstreaming the functions of UCDA to the Ministry of Agriculture, will my coffee that at this moment is flowering dry up from the garden? Will I fail to get market when I start harvesting? That would be my fears. But I strongly believe that mainstreaming UCDA, whose history even started from the Coffee Marketing Board. Coffee Marketing Board transitioned into UCDA. And now government and the same government that transitioned Coffee Marketing Board to UCDA is saying, at this point in time, we have taken a policy decision under Article 111 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda to either repeal, mainstream, or merge entities that we created through acts of parliament. For entities that were created without an act of parliament, you have seen, for instance, the Rural Electrification Agency. It was established without an act of parliament. So the rationalization of REA did not necessitate coming to parliament. That was a policy decision. So this is the same government now saying, we are mainstreaming you, we are merging you, we are repealing your existence, because rationalization are three subsets: repeal, mainstream, merge. Now for the issue of coffee, we are going to mainstream the functions currently being exercised by UCDA under the Act into the mainstream Ministry of Agriculture by creating a department. Now, even the human resource of the current UCDA will definitely be moved to that department. So, what is the mischief that will not be cured? Maybe I will hear from you. Because it is saying we are picking you from where you are and bringing you directly as a department under the mainstream ministry. Price for people, more consultations. Also to state that from the record available, Cabinet of the Republic of Uganda approved the principles of rationalization in 2021. This is not the first time that the 38 bills that were earmarked under rationalization were introduced in Parliament. We have had consultations, bills came in Parliament, a number of them were approved, others were not approved. As I speak in phase 2, 14 bills were read for the first time and referred to committees. Out of 14, 6 rationalization bills have already been passed into law. 6 of them, implying we are remaining with 8. And still, the application of our general rule under our resolution will apply. You have seen NITA-U has already benefited from the 3 years. Coffee are 3 years for us to transition, implying you still have year 1, year 2, and year 3. So why the rush? Somebody was asking, why the rush? There is no rush, because records available indicate that Cabinet approved the principles of rationalization in 2021. To be very specific, let me refer to the Cabinet Minute number 43, CT 2021, on 22nd February 2021. That was when Cabinet of the Republic of Uganda, chaired by His Excellency the President, approved the principles of rationalization. So whether there is a rush or not a rush, we may now need to go and seek for interpretation under the Interpretation Act what the word rush is interpreted to mean. Because the journey is from 2021, we are now in 2024. Members who are, you use the word few, I'm quoting you because this is the question posed, that there are few NRM MPs who are opposed to the bill. Are we ready to face or confront them, including the other team? I wish to state that the National Resistance Movement, from the meetings we have had, is ready to proceed with the remaining 8 bills under our overall resolution, and we want to appeal to those who are against to raise the substantive issues. We are not going to debate based on emotions, based on sentiment. We are going to debate based on issues. You are talking about membership. You are talking about accreditation. This is the kind of intellectual debate that the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda must get itself involved into. There are people alleging, for instance, UCDA is a member of international organization. For starters, an agency can never belong to any international organization. Belonging to an international organization is constitutional. It is Uganda that has the mandate to be a member of any international organization. It is Uganda that submitted the name of UCDA to be a member of International Coffee Organization. When UCDA, with the consent of government of Uganda, decided to withdraw from the membership of International Coffee Organization, it wasn't UCDA. It was Uganda, represented by UCDA, that withdrew. That is the kind of intellectual debate that we would want to engage ourselves into. There are people talking about international accreditation. That does not even exist. Accreditation on coffee applies to laboratories. And all the accredited laboratories handling coffee, in the case of Uganda, belongs to government of Uganda under NARO, not UCDA. That is the kind of intellectual debate we in the NRM would want to get involved into. Coffee is a strategic cash crop grown in all parts of Uganda. I have told you personally, I am a new coffee farmer. I would even be more worried than them. But I am not worried because my coffee in the garden will be there. If I need irrigation, there is small-scale irrigation in all districts, cities, and municipalities of Uganda provided for by the government of Uganda. And those talking about UCDA has achieved this. UCDA does not work in isolation. UCDA has never appeared before any committee of parliament on its own. UCDA has never submitted on the floor of parliament on its own. UCDA has never approved its own budget on its own. UCDA is an agency of government of Uganda represented by the Ministry of Agriculture. That is the kind of debate. But if it is about sentiment, I think there are people who will win. But responding to issues, and I also need this particular interface to, let's interrogate the issues being raised. Is it about membership? Is it about accreditation? Or it falls squarely on fears of the unknown? Because change is coming. Because change is coming. And I believe at the point Coffee Marketing Board was transitioning into UCDA, probably those who were there at that time could have had the same debate. At the point government repealed the Produce Marketing Board, I believe those who were there at that time could have gone through the same debate. So rationalization, ladies and gentlemen, is a policy decision of government that is meant to achieve many things. Number one, it is meant to bring institutional harmony. There must be harmony within institutions. And government has taken a deliberate decision that all entities now must come. Those who are earmarked under rationalization should come under the mainstream ministries. We want to do away with these boards. Cotton as a board, NADS as a board, UCDA as a board. We want to do away with the authorities. What is the usage of these ministries? The same scientists in UCDA will be accommodated within that department to be created. They will be doing the same functions that they have been doing under the public service of the Republic of Uganda. What is wrong with that? Are they running somewhere? They're coming back under their mother ministry. Why are we saying no? 2, we want to reduce service and functional duplication. Service and functional duplication. We want to reduce that as a government. 3, high cost of administering these agencies. You all know the cost associated. An agency under the Ministry of Works has 1,700 staff. The ministry itself has 700. The staff in the agency are earning more than. You get the point? So we want to now, this high cost of administering the agencies, we would rather mainstream them under the public service salaries, such that whatever savings we have can go into service delivery. PDM, how many trillions have we injected? Over 2.4 trillion. The other one is to reduce administrative cost. So whoever has understood the underlying principles of rationalization would support rationalization. Otherwise, everybody would be crying. The maize growers would be crying of an authority for maize. The cassava growers would be crying for, you know, cassava now is touched as market internationally, would be crying for an authority for cassava. The milk people, DDA has just been rationalized. Our milk now has got international market. We are now even doing value addition. The Malakwang growers would also demand for an agency for Malakwang, because that is the best food one can have, better than the fish we eat, better than the red meat you eat and get gout. There would be an authority for fish. We all know this. But government wants to mainstream. Government wants to merge. Government wants to have a lean structure that is efficient and effective. And for coffee, we would even be celebrating the 3-year transitional period that we have. Fallback position. We do not have a fallback position up to now. We have come on the floor of Parliament and we are ready to proceed in line with the rules of procedure of Parliament of Uganda. Thank you.
Maybe I can answer something.
Okay, fenga abana NRM abantu bakitegeera nti tubeera bakakamu ebiseera ebisinga, naye olwaleero naffe tusazeewo okuvaayo ng'ababaka ba NRM abali mu Parliament. Twawulidde ba opposition batabbira nti tebajja kkiriza proceedings zigende mu maaso mu Parliament nga lino teeka government tenaba ki lijjayo. N'olwekyo njaba bakakasa bannayuganda nti ffenaffe tuli redde. We baleeta olutalo naffe weetuli tujja kwecunya. We baba bayagala kutwala Parliament ku street, naffe tujja bagobera tubalage touch, because ffe nga government oba aba NRM caucus tulina position nti UCDA eddeyo mu Ministry ya Agriculture. So ffe mu caucus tuwakkiriza nti tugenda kuwagira position ya government. So n'olwekyo nga Parliament eryo eddoboozi lye tugenda kutwala. Waliwo omukutu gye nalabye Honorable Mwanga Kivumbi ng'agamba bana Butambala nti ajja kusitula speaker mu ntebe ye proceedings zireme ogenda mu maaso. Awo ye asaaga busaazi nga tanaba kusitula speaker, tujja kusooka muyambula ategere nti naffe tuli babaadi mukitegeera. So n'olwekyo nkubiriza bamemba ba NRM bonna abali mu tulo bazuukuke bajje ku olwo to defending position ya government oba NRM, then tulabe ekyagenda mu maaso ku lunaku olwo. Naye nga tuli steady, tuli ready, tulinze naffe okwecunya n'abo abaagala kuleeta buzibu mu parliament oba olutalo mu kizimbe kya parliament. Amanya bampita Linus Ngompek, ndi mubaka wa parliament owa Kibanda North, Kiryandongo district. Mwebale.